Right, in today's video, I'm going to show you how I prepare my clothing for sale. So that goes from picking it and looking at and checking it, to putting it in the washing machine, to drying it, and then what I do after that when it comes to the pictures, and putting it in the bags and all that side of it. So follow me. I'll give you like a breakdown of like how I do this all the way along. Yeah, hope you find this interesting. Do let me know if you've got any questions. Right, so first thing is actually like getting the clothing all prepared. So what I would do is first and foremost have a look over the actual item, see if it needs anything extra done to it. So in other words, like, does it need extra spot treatment? So check things like the cuffs, check collars, things like that, see if there's anything that's like. If it doesn't, then it can go straight into the washing machine. If it does, then what we need to do is actually, I personally use something called some pink stuff, and I would actually like put a bit of that onto it, and then it will go into the washing machine. So far, doesn't seem too bad. And what I am doing is actually putting all the darks, so dark items together, and these will all go in the same one as well. Right, so I've now got the items all ready to go into the washing machine. The items that, as I was just saying about, if I'm going to like spot clean them, so if there's any marks, what I can do is purely and simply just do that, and that will actually kind of like be a little bit of a stain remover as well. You might want to leave that just for a couple of seconds just to soak in, but then what that will do is it goes straight into the washing machine. Now I'm going to put this all in. Right, so that goes all in. So then once that's in, what I'm going to do is actually I'll put in the detergent. So what I do personally is actually just use one of these cups. I will fill that probably just over halfway. That will then go into the washer, and we close it all up. So the setting that I personally use is, I don't like take too long on this whatsoever. I personally set this for a sports thing, so that's 58 minutes. Temperature, I'll go for a nice low 30 degrees, and spin, I will actually put it up to maximum spin. And then all I'll do is push start. Okay, so once that then comes out, I will endeavour to actually get this put out onto the washing line. So for example, you can see I've got a few bits just out here, all pegged up. So all the time that we've actually got nicer weather, it's definitely the easiest thing to actually do is to like get them outdoors and trying to like get them dry. So that is one of the hardest things of being a clothing reseller in the UK. The weather is 9 times out of 10 pretty horrendous, so it is a challenge. I can dry them indoors as well. So invariably, a lot of the time, I will have clothing that is actually hanging up, trying to actually get dry. As I say, I do have this, which is called a dry soon, and what this is actually a heated airer that I can put in. It's got this cover over it, and that will hopefully like dry things a little bit quicker. The other option, which is also a tumble dryer, but tumble dryers, you can't always dry everything. You have to definitely check the labels. Okay, so now your clothing is dry. It's been washed. It's going to be in the best condition, and the cleaning like has all taken place. So it is all ready to go into your pile, ready for photography. So what I personally do, a lot of people like will iron or steam. I personally don't do that. I don't want to say never done it, but it's literally on one hand the amount of items I've sold, and I'd like very rarely do it. So how do I do it? How do I like make them look as best as I possibly can? So these are the items that have now come out of drying. So they're all ready to now go into my pile to get pressed. So that's how I would class it, as being pressed. So this is where I stack all my items. And what I'm trying to do is actually create its own type of press. So the more you actually put on each stack on top of each other, the more pressure that will be pushed down, and it should take out a majority of the creases in it. So that's the idea. So what I'm going to do is, first and foremost, I've got a pair of shorts. They will literally just go straight on here. What I'll do is give them a little kind of wipe down to try and kind of take out some of the creases. Then we've got a polo shirt, going to the shoulders, pulling it out, flattening it out again. Going on to the next one, which is a shirt. Again, with the shoulders, lay it down, flatten it out, just trying to get as much as that crease in, get the arms all straight as well. So if you take a little bit of care when you're doing this, it should theoretically be able to like look quite good. It's not going to be perfect. I'm not after perfect, but I do want it to look pretty good. And then the last one, like a hoodie just here. When I'm doing this, I will always make sure that if it's got buttons, I'll make sure the buttons all get done up as well. So it's all ready. So we're now ready for photography. Right, so we're now at the point where we can start doing the photography. So the items that we need is going to be, most importantly, so it's going to be a camera. You can absolutely use a mobile phone as well to do this. I personally like using a dedicated camera because it's actually got an SD card in here as well. So on my SD card, I can actually literally plug it straight into my my computer. It does come down to personal preference. So just so you know, this what I use is the Canon Ixus 185. Just a little point and shoot. It's like I've done thousands of pictures using that camera, and it's definitely not let me down. Next, which we've got my numbers, which are my SKU numbers. I print these off. I do have a video that I show actually how to print these off if you've got a thermal printer. I also have a suffocation warning as well, just because I'm using plastic bags. And I also use this to seal the bags. And then we've actually got the bags that I'm going to store all my clothing in. So these ones, I get these from Polypack UK. I'm not affiliated with them at all. So, and the size of them is 12 by 15, 100 grams poly bags, and there's 1,000 in these these packs. And the only other thing which I've got, which is my yardstick or measure. So it does it in centimeters and inches. I personally work on inches, but again, it's down to personal preference. And so we're going to take the clothing from this area, and it's going to come over to here where I'll do the pictures, take the measurements, and then I'll put it into the bags. Once that's done, then it will go over, and this will then be transferred into my storage unit. Right, so all ready to go. I'm going to start by taking my first piece of clothing, put it out, and what we're again is trying to get as many of the creases out as we possibly can, and then move these bits and pieces around, and then we take first picture overall, picture of the top, undo the label, making sure we get sizes. And any little features. Once we've done that, then we can then go on to the measuring of it, and I personally do chest, and I'll do one overall and then one closer up, and then I will do the length and closer up as well. Once that's done, I then will flip it over. So I personally will actually use like kind of like my arms, twist it around, flick it over, flatten it out again. And what I'm going to do on this one is show that it actually does have like a little bit of like a defect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on just in here to show people that it actually has got a defect. Once that's done, then I'm going to like take a picture of my SKU label. Once that's done, it is like kind of like a case of actually folding it nicely and then over. With hoods, I like fold that over and then over again, so it's going to look nice. And then what we do is we get one of the poly bags. There is a little like technique that if you actually fold it into like a tortilla, it's a lot easier to get it into the bag. Like so, and then we're going to get a suffocation warning. Take that off. Flip it over, and then what I'm going to do is get my SKU number and just pop that on the top. I do it like so, so when it's actually standing up, I'll be able to like physically see the number nice and easily. So once that's done, that will then just go over to the others, and that will all be bagged up. So that's like the first one. Let's do another one, like a shirt. Again, we're trying to get as many of the creases out. Shirts can be a little bit harder. But then again, we're going to do overall, one by the collar, zoomed in on the manufacturer. I'll do one of the cuff, and if I can find one with what it's made of, then I'll flick it over, overall, and then zoomed in, and then this is the length, and then we turn it over, flick it over. It does become a technique of actually like getting faster with this, so it does take time just to like to work it all out. So once that's done, get a SKU number, picture of the SKU, folding it nicely. So this is a where I'm actually photographing it. This is called a flat lay system. So in other words, like I'm lucky enough that I can actually have a dedicated table, and I've actually put a grey background on this one. The reason I've put a grey is because it's better to for the colours of the clothing, so you can like tell more of a true colour of it. So that's the reason I do like a grey. I know like eBay will tell you that it should be white. For me personally, I think it's better to actually have it like that. Right, then we've got polo shirt. So this is by Barber. So again, overall one, closer. Brand, make sure I get size on there as well. It is definitely harder with black colours, it doesn't come out quite as good. And then we get one of the tag. And making sure we get pit to pit. Zoomed in. Again, on the back. There we got label. The bag, spread in. So I'm aiming really like when I'm kind of like in my groove, I want to like be able to like do this from taking it over off of the pile to putting it into the bag in 2 minutes per item. That's what I'm kind of aiming for. Right, let's do one more, which I'll do a pair of shorts. Making sure we're all good. Overall, these are a pair of Hugo Boss. So I'm going to go close in on the logo. What type? So these are slim fit. Then we go to the actual care label. And we're going to do the waist of these ones. So these are 20-inch. What I personally do is I want to know how long that leg is, but also I want to know if it's actually a button fly or a zip fly. So I'm going to take a little picture of that just to remind me, and then we go to the back, pointing out any like of redeeming features. So this one here has actually got a tag on there as well. And the last one, and there, and over. And that is it. Right, that's it from me. Hopefully that's been helpful and interesting. Please do feel free to reach out if you've got any questions. More than happy to answer anything you need. But again, until the next one, have a great rest of the day.